Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and today we're talking about Ice Cream Man, one of my favorite series out there, but I've only had a chance to talk about very briefly in the Best of 2019 video I did a while back for just straight comics. We did a few of those videos last year. I don't know if we're going to do any of this or that sort of thing this year in 2020. Rough year, and December's shaping up to be horribly busy for me. But I got some time right now to talk about this really fun anthology horror image comic series. I had to slow down for a minute and make sure I got that all right. But it is an anthology series, kind of along the lines of Twilight Zone or Black Mirror. I'm a little hesitant to use those as a comparison because I find Ice Cream Man's kind of a step up from like the Twilight Zone revival series that came out recently, or Black Mirror in general. I like both of those shows okay enough, I suppose, but they're not very scary. And Ice Cream Man, for a comic, does a pretty good job at the very least, unsettling me constantly. Uh, that, in no small part, is because of Martin Morazzo's excellent artwork. He has a way of drawing people that just gets them right in that uncanny valley, but it's a very perfect sort of thing. Characters will smile and flower and look so creepy because of it. There's an older gentleman who runs an ice cream company in this issue, and he talks about how ice cream men are disappearing across the city, and it's really of no concern to him because they're just insects. He is a massive spider's web of a national corporation. And he's got a good point. Like, he's right in what he's saying, but just the way he's drawn and the way the panels are framing him as a person, like, makes him so creepy and weird. And this is by far spookier than so much other horror content I engage in, especially in the media thing. I was just watching a video on that Blumhouse Truth or Dare movie, and it really feels lacking in comparison to stuff like this. That being said, it is also a very adult book. You'll notice, you guys might not notice because I get a very different amount of preview images for each book, but in this one, I had more, but I had to delete two of them because even images censored preview versions were too spicy for YouTube's usual rules about monetization and stuff. So it's a very adult book with a lot of nudity and pretty serious content. But I like it. It's all about that mystery of these ice cream men disappearing. And this book is kind of like a neo noir detective piece where this private eye starts looking into all of this. Now, don't let that fool you. That's not the norm for Ice Cream Man. It's always a different story each issue. But there are recurring themes, and as you might imagine, ice cream is one of them. This is actually the most Ice Cream Man focused issue of the series I've ever read before, but a fun thing about the anthology aspect of it is you can really pick up any old issue and you're going to get something different each time. There are similar creative threads across each book, but otherwise it's very independent and like pick up as you go kind of thing. It's been a while since I've read one of these books, but I really liked this particular issue. It was a fun and enjoyable read on the whole. Very creepy and worth your time. Uh, Beyond that, I don't really want to get into. Well, I guess I can because it's not like it's super spoiler heavy. It's more about the creepy tone and journey than any specific thing. But there is a lot of talk about language and stuff like that. At one point, the private eye comes across this homeless man who says, "The end is nigh." And he's thinking about words and their meaning. And he questions him on nigh. And the homeless man says near. It means near. The end is near. And he asks, like, well, why didn't you say it the simple way the first time? And he's just like, well, that's how you say the phrase. And there's a certain question on the emptiness of all of this. Meanwhile, there's a similar phrase he comes across that's a more primordial thing going on here, where these ice cream men are being sacrificed by this primordial cult for a spider god. And he comes across this book with just a page of three symbols, and it just shows like a spider cult, followed by an ice cream symbol, followed by a frowny face. It's like, yeah, no, that's But that's the whole point of this book, is it's just a similar sort of thing that people do out of tradition. They keep repeating it even though there isn't a necessary meaning behind it. And we don't see any creepy spider god, but we do see a lot of weird imagery along the way. I, and if you like look at it from that angle, this comic does have a point and a beginning, middle, and end. It's just a weird one. And you kind of have to look in between the lines. So it's thoughtful, it's interesting, very suspenseful and creepy, and I would say on the whole is totally worth your time. I also really like the coloring in this book. I think this is the same creative team across the whole series. It certainly feels that way. But Chris O'Halloran does the coloring, and he uses a sort of soft palette. I don't know if you guys. Well, he does and he doesn't. I use the term neo-noir quite deliberately because there is a lot of like neon colors, like you're kind of seeing there, bright little elements to the detective's office and the color of the ice cream man, the color of the ice cream man's wife and her hair. But a lot of the other colors are flat and desaturated. Gives everything a very sort of drab and we'll say realistic feel, especially compared to like the more Marvel DC type of coloring y'all might expect from the average book. But it's been consistently used in Ice Cream Man to a very positive extent. So yeah, totally recommended. As we're closing out the year, I have read enough of these books that I am comfortable in saying Ice Cream Man is probably one of my favorite things this year. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do a big list. We don't have any movies to go on for one thing, or that is very limited. Let's put it that way. Maybe I'll do something, but as we're kind of doing streams here and there, we will kind of reflect on things a little bit. And I definitely am comfortable saying Ice Cream Man is one of my favorite series out there right now. We'll talk about another Image series that I also feel that way about, and I think I like even more than Ice Cream Man, but this is a solid recommend. Adrian Benningfield, thanks for joining us in stream. Always great to see you. Yeah, and sorry it's been a little quiet this week and the last, but it's, my schedule has just been awful. Like December is just a bit of a mess, but I should find new stability in January, and that will be nice. And that's just all on a work thing. That's just been part of the fun of working in a healthcare job with a bit of a pandemic. I never agreed to, but whatever. Speaking of which, I'll have to go in. I'm pretty much like just as soon as I'm done this, I got a few more errands to do, and then I have to go into work right away because I'm on a like how soon can you come in kind of situation today. But yeah, I planned on doing this stream and had other stuff to go on, and I'm sure like broadly I'll understand because Adrian Benningfield's saying that's all right, no problem. I don't mean to be super apologetic. I just want to let you guys know that releases will be spotty, and then they won't. There should be a period where I'll at the very least have a lot of time to after Christmas. Hopefully kind of around if I can plan things out right and do some of these 11 a.m. streams, or at least Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time it is across the world for the rest of you, but there we go. So I think we'll leave things there just as a nice little short review. I've been trying to keep some of these reviews closer to 8 minutes in length anyways, so that's nice that we hit that. I will say that next week, Ice Cream Man does have a Christmas-themed book coming out. It seems Wesley themed around some sort of advent calendar business, just to give you an idea of how different each issue can be. Because this one was really different from a lot of the Ice Cream Man stuff. They don't normally have that like other genre they throw in, but they do sometimes, and always entertaining and interesting. Yeah, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.